Alright everyone, despite that I've always been a Mac kind of guy, I mean, iMac, iPhone, this video is being edited on a MacBook Pro. Yeah, this is a bit unusual for a Mac type of guy, and yeah, I got a bunch of PC components here. You got a case, a CPU, cooler, motherboard, all this stuff. Yeah, and yeah, you read the title. We're building a computer today, but long term, this is going to be like a proper server and not just basic PC, and this is because I gotta wait for some hard drives to come in, and let's just say they're not particularly cheap. So as of right now, I'm just going to focus on the actual computer component of the whole thing. I'm just going to build the PC, and then eventually when the money is here, I can eventually buy the hard drives and then fill the hard drive bays in this case. But yeah, the ultimate plan is this will be a server that will hold all of the videos that you've ever watched on all of my YouTube channels, because my airport time capsule is basically full. If you hadn't watched that video yet, clicky thing, link above, you know the drill. And so, because I am a professional idiot who has no idea what the heck they're doing, it's time to build a PC idiot style. What could go wrong? Part of the weird camera angle, but I figured I'd just insert this clip in here while before I start building. Now, I may be a complete idiot when it comes to building or doing basically anything. I mean, take a look at all the videos that I have. Usually in every repair or maintenance item that I do on any of my channels, something tends to go wrong. That's just what happens here. That's why I call these videos idiot style. So if I do something very wrong, now you know why. But please don't have a complete lack of confidence in my abilities when it comes to building a computer. I've worked on many computers for quite a while. You've seen me work on my Macs, you've seen me work on my Dell XPS. That was a recent upgrade video actually. And well, now you're going to witness me attempt to build myself a server. Is this gonna go horribly wrong? Maybe. That's why I call these videos idiot style. Let's hope nothing does go wrong, because all of the stuff in this room that I acquired to build this so far has cost me about $900 in components. It's not cheap. So, without further ado, let's start building. So, I do have a couple of toolkits with me. I primarily like to use this one. This is my Hyper Tough 65-piece ratchet set. It's more meant for heavier duty tools, but I've got some smaller tools, though I only can go as small as a T7 screwdriver. And so because of that, I ended up buying this iFixit kit, which includes a T6 and a T5 screwdriver, which is really useful for that. So I'll probably be using both of these toolkits today. Before we even unbox the motherboard, which, oh, actually when I ordered the motherboard, it didn't come with the box. Yeah, so I hope it works. Because we're working with electronics and we're dealing with statics and such, I'm actually gonna open up the power supply first, so that way I can use it and ground myself and discharge any static electricity that builds up on me. So yeah, I guess I'll first show you the power supply I bought. I just found something online that I hoped had enough power to power all of my hard drives when I eventually get them, along with the rest of the system. So it's a 850 watt power supply, 80 plus gold certified. I hope this works. I spent over $100 on it. And so, all right, let us unbox this. I'll try to get the proper camera angle for you. Let's see, styrofoam, more foam, yay, okay. So here is the power supply, if I can take it out. All right. All of my many cables, which will be useful at some point. I did want it to be fully modular. Ooh, and it includes zip ties and screws, nice. All right, so we don't need all of these just yet, so let's chuck this aside. Going to unwrap our cable here. Come on. Let's take this out of its packaging. Where's the opening? Ah, right here. All right, there we go. Power supply, unboxed. So let's switch that off. Plug this in here, and I've got a little power outlet just outside around here on my power strip where my iMac's plugged in. And there. All right, so now, after every now and again, I just need to remember to tap the power supply so I can discharge myself because the power supply is now grounded to ground. So, in theory, I shouldn't destroy any of my components. So, this is Asus Prime motherboard, designed for Intel 12th gen, 13th gen, 14th gen Intel chips, and I don't know anything particularly special about this. I don't know much about motherboards, but yeah, this is effectively the motherboard of choice that we'll be using, and I need to find a box to prop this up on because I don't actually have a box, and I don't want this thing scratching my table. Aha! And a box has been secured. All right, now we'll need our CPU. That's the first thing we always start with. For the CPU, I chose to save some money and go for 12th gen Intel. Primarily because 13th and 14th gen I hear are having some issues where they're getting overvolted and they're corroding. So we decided to go 12th gen Intel Core i7. What's the specific label on this? i7 12700K, if that means anything. So I did want to make sure that it had integrated graphics, which it does. All right, so we're gonna unbox our CPU. Where's the tab? There it is. All right. So while I did buy the motherboard used, I got a good deal on it actually. I did buy the CPU brand new. So, let's see, how the heck are you supposed to pull it out of this thing? Our CPU is unboxed. Let me discharge myself again. And let's open up our socket here. So, all right. This opens up like so. Now, if I recall, these only go in one way. So, we gotta be careful about that. All right, most fragile component, like the #1 place where things can possibly go wrong. Let's try not to screw it up here. So if I recall, there's notches on each side, and it's literally keyed to go in one way. So let's insert it that way. Let's see. Okay. We appear to be in. Oop. Yep. We seem good. All right. So let's. Ooh. Oop, we missed the retention clip. Oh, we popped off. Okay. So our CPU is seated. That's the difficult part. Next, I believe we move on to memory. So I got 32 gigs. DDR5. It's not ECC, which is what you properly want for a proper server, but I mean, DDR5 has some level of error correction code, which is what ECC stands for. So, all right, let's get our memory unboxed. All right, let's see. Where do you pry this open? Right here. Aha. Okay. Whoop. So if I recall, these do need to go in specific slots. So let's see. It's labeled DIMM A1, B2. I think I'm looking for the 2nd and the 4th slot. If I had the manual from my motherboard, which it didn't come with, obviously, then I probably know which slot I need to put it in, but, well, I didn't get a manual with this motherboard, so screw me, I guess. Is this going in right? Wow, it's really hard to tell where center of this is. I actually can't tell. Let me see. Nope, it's the other way. I think. Yep, it is this way. Okay, so all right, that's RAM stick number 1. had to guess, you're gonna go in the exact same way. And all right. Wow. This doesn't particularly go in all that easy, but all right, our RAM now appears to be seated. I'm gonna put in my SSD, and I believe it's probably going to go in under that heatsink, so this is where I'm gonna need my first tool. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, if I had to guess, it's under this heatsink. At least I think that's what this piece is. Okay, yep. And there's the slot right there. Okay. So, for my SSD so far, I'm gonna get more when I get the hard drives in, but I've decided as just for now, I am planning on booting multiple operating systems on this because this is gonna function as more than just a server. It'll also have a built-in project Windows license because, well, I'm not allowed to showcase my XPS software on camera per the request of my employer. So if I want to do anything Windows related ever, well, now I'll have a computer that my boss can't tell me, no, I'm not allowed to use. Yep, gotta remember to touch the power supply to ground myself. Okay, and here is our SSD. Are there any covers? Yes, there is a sticker over the thermal pad, so let's remove that. Alright, and now there's already a screw pre-installed. Oh, what's this? Huh. Is this just a... What the heck is this thing? That's a weird clip. Okay, come on. Get off. I said, get off. You are literally in the way of my screw. There we go. What the heck? Is that thing supposed to fit, or how the heck is this standoff thing supposed to work? This is just weird. What the heck? Hang on, guys. I'm figuring it out. Be nice if I had a manual, so that way I knew what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to screw that in with that at the same time, as weird as that is. So, okay. Let's see. Can I plug you in now? If I recall, you're supposed to just slot in there. Ah, there we go. All right. So now, how does this screw in? Because it looks like there's supposed to be more to this. Oh, wait a sec. Hold on now. Let's see here. Let me put the clip back on. I'm wondering now. Hang on. So let me screw this back in. Actually, let me take that. Oh, let me take this out. Get myself more clearance. Let me screw this back in. Okay, that's in. All right, now let's take this. Insert you in like so, and twist. Ah, that's how you seat it. No screwdriver required. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. I like that. Okay, and now we get to put the shielding back on. Certainly help if this was at the same height. Let me lower this. Motorized desks, don't they make everything easier? So, okay. Okay, let's screw this back on. All right. So there. CPU, memory, SSD is all installed. Now at this point, I believe we need to install the cooler. I'm going liquid cooling because I have a feeling I can't keep this box in a separate room even if I wanted it to be. And as a result, I don't want it to be loud. And I know the hard drives themselves are going to be loud as is. So I decided to try to find other ways to quiet it, or at least find other ways to assist in quieting it, which is why I went liquid cooled. So I see mounting brackets and hardware and all sorts of stuff, a bag of cables and such. So all right, let us pull out this cooler. Even more stuff, oh my goodness. So is this the CPU bracket? I think this is the bracket. Emphasis on I think it is. Let's see. This looks like it's for, nope, LGA 1700, is that right? LGA 1700, so that's what this is for. Okay, installing this cooler is going to be interesting, to say the least. And here is the cooler itself. Alright. Huh. Alright, so there's our thermal pad. Please peel off, will do. Huh, so this piece here is separate. Yeah, from the looks of it. Is that a real fit? No! No, it's a grill, that's what that is. Okay. So this would attach, I'd assume, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I gotta figure out how the heck I'm supposed to mount this thing. Is there any instructions? Instructions would be rather nice right about now. No instructions. Well, isn't that great? Okay. So if I had to guess, this bracket needs to go on somehow. But where do you mount? You don't mount there, do you? It looks like it wants to mount there, but that can't be possible. Maybe it mounts on the back. This is going to be a fast forward section so I can figure out how the hell am I supposed to mount this cooler on. Let me see here. It's almost as if this goes on underneath the retention clip. Okay. Let's see. Look at the mounting hardware here. Oh, it even gave us some compounds, okay. No, this would be for an AMD. So how do you secure this into here? No, you can't want me to use your own retention clip, do you? It's kind of what it's looking like. So, alright. If that's the case, because yeah, it looks like it wants me to remove this, so okay. Ah, yep, okay. That is interesting. So apparently it doesn't want me to use the factory's retention system. Instead, it wants me to use the specific retention system that it's shipped with, which is very interesting, to say the least. So, alright, let's try that and see what happens. Okay. So if I take that off, and yeah, that lines up just like that. Huh, all right. that's how you want to play ball, then that's how we're going to play ball. So, I want this on the bottom, if I recall. Yeah. In that case, let's go grab our CPU again and reseat it. Alright, then we're going to take our custom retention clip here. Let's see. Can I reuse these screws? No. No, I can't. Okay. That might be why they provided me some more. What a weird cooler installation. Yep, okay. So yeah, they want me to use the custom retention bracket. That is interesting, to say the least. Isn't that interesting? They wanted me to use their own custom proprietary bracket to hold down the CPU and the cooler. Okay, so there, now that's installed. So now the cooler effectively goes on like this. Like so. Come on. Yeah, okay. So let's remove this. Now, screwdriver. Now you get screwed on. Just like so. Yeah, that is interesting. And yes, guys, I do know I need to put thermal paste on that. Right now, I'm just leaving it in this configuration so that way I can test if the computer boots. That's my goal. When we put this in the case, I will be taking this off and I will be adding thermal paste. This is just for testing purposes. Okay, add this, no, it's on top, like so. Yeah, okay. So it's not perfect, and that's because I don't have great contact, but okay. That should be enough to test. So let's see. I'm gonna start plugging some stuff in. So let's see, what do we have for headers here? I wanna make sure everything is plugged in correctly, at least. Is this an RGB header, I think? Where's the pump header? Plug you in like that. What kind of cable attachments are these? What? Where the hell do you plug in? I am very confused here. How the heck does this thing plug in? Because I don't see any connections that look like that. Maybe I'm missing something here. Oh, there's where you plug in. Yeah, that's where you plug in, you little bastard. All right. So let's see. So I did not expect this to actually plug directly in right here. Yeah, I hope that's plugged in now. So, all right. Let us rescrew this back in. Now let's plug in some headers here. So this is just a fan. There's the CPU. I want to get that plugged in. Just pump header goes in. Huh. This is a very unorthodox cooler that I kind of wish had instructions. Yeah, who knew this would be the biggest headache of the whole thing? So yeah, now I got an extra set of cables here. I can't find where the hell the CPU thing goes. What's this? This is a fan header. CPU fan, VRM. This looks like it goes here. Alright, and the VRM, where does this one go? CPU fan optional, I think. Alright, let's try that. Because, yeah, I'm not seeing any other fan headers. Because the rest are chassis fans. So, okay. I think the cooler is in. I don't have a GPU, so I think at this point it's time to try to do a boot test. So, I'm going to pull out my miniature display here. It has a Raspberry Pi attached to it at the moment. And all I am looking to do is to see if this thing will post. So, let's see, I got USB. You are powerful enough to power the display. All right, and now I'll need an HDMI cable. Let me look for one real quick. So let's plug in some display. All right, so let's see what we've got to plug in here. 4-pin cable. Got a few Molex connectors. Those will be useful later. A CPU cable. So. Let's plug in. Do we have 2 of these? CPU. There it is. Okay, I thought there was a lot of a mess in terms of cables here. So let's see. This way. Okay, there's one set. This is our other CPU. No, this is not. Where's the other CPU cable? PCIe. CPU. Okay, there it is. Okay, you know what, I'll put this on because why not? All right. Okay, I think we're ready for a boot. Oh, I didn't know that had RGB on it. All right. Let's see if we can get her to post. Woo! Pretty lights. Lots of fan spin. Oh, we're getting something. I think we have a post. I'll grab my keyboard. Okay. So we got somewhere. Nope. I don't know if we posted or not. I think we did. Let's try again. It's upside down. One keyboard, one mouse, two hubs. These are very noisy fans. One, to enter BIOS setup. We're in the BIOS, okay, good. Excellent, 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 excellent. We are now in the BIOS, which means we have a post. Okay, good. And nothing went majorly wrong, good. So with that success, that means time to put it in the case. This will be fun. Yeah, my apologies on the mistake of forgetting to charge the phone before you continue on your PC builds and such. But that aside, this is the tower in its semi-final form as the monitor goes to sleep, because why wouldn't it? Now, yes, like I said, this is not exactly in its final form. I just effectively built a functioning computer. As you can see, Windows is running in the background. At the moment, in terms of functionality, it's kind of just serving as a glowing paperweight, if I'm being honest, because as of right now, I don't have much use for a Windows PC aside from maybe some challenges, but before I can do that, I do need to get a Windows license first. As of right now, there's technically no Windows license activated on this thing. There's a lot of setup and a bunch of other things that will be left to do with this, but hey, in this video, we got a working computer. I basically showed you how to post it, and at that point, well, you can look at other build guides to tell you how to put it in a case. And it's gonna vary from case to case depending on what you select. And so we got a bit of a working computer, and now we just gotta wait for some hard drives to come in. And once that happens, I'm gonna get to pull everything out, and we'll probably end up spray painting this whole thing white. Yeah, for those of you who might have noticed, I chose a bunch of white PC components like power supply, cooler, case fans, memory sticks. There's so much white in this, and yet it's all going in a black case. Who knows? Maybe I could start a new trend, putting white computer components in black cases. In fact, because of the way it is right now, and I don't know, maybe I'll end up leaving it black. I'm not sure. I'm calling it the Zebra PC because zebras are black with white stripes. This is a black case with white components inside. So yeah, for my first ever full 0 to 100% computer build, I mean, aside from that weird ass cooler, yeah, everything seemed pretty okay. And just so you know, guys, I'm pretty sure that is a very specific thing to this cooler where you have to take off the CPU retention clip and install Arctic's custom one. So I got my Samsung SSD in there, and then actually I threw in my old iMac hard drive in there to see if it would do anything. The system doesn't recognize it. I can't say I fault it. And in terms of the case, what is it? I think it's a Dark Rock Classico series. And the reason why I chose this case is, well, there's two reasons actually. Number one, the hard drive base, because again, the end goal for this machine is to be turned into a server. But then the other reason is, look at all of this mesh paneling for all the ventilation you could want. And so yeah, all this mesh makes it easy for the system to breathe. Despite that, yes, I know I have my keyboard and mouse on top of it. That's not gonna hurt anything. And yeah, that's basically the hardware spec of this. I might potentially find a GPU so I could run SolidWorks on this if I wanted to, but again, the ultimate main goal is to actually end up turning this into a server. I was torn between getting the functionality of a server because I knew I needed a server, but then at the same time, if I'm gonna build my own custom one, why not build a full-blown PC with some nice specs in it? And hey, maybe I can get back into doing some PC content like I used to in the very old days. Like, I'm talking original Random Alpha channel days. In case you guys didn't know, I used to be a PC boy. I'm not joking. I grew up using PC for many more years than I've ever used Mac. And yet, the reason why I left PC has nothing to do with the hardware, actually. It all has to do with that, the software. It flippin' sucks. But hey, I could dual boot this. I could run Linux, I could run Terminus, I can run whatever the heck I want to on this thing. Aside from macOS, because I don't think macOS supports any of this such, but you get the point. But yeah, that will conclude this PC build right here. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below, and do me a favor and check out my Patreon page. I would very much appreciate that. This is the Random Alpha Gadgets, signing out.